If you're a person that has high IQ and you're really successful at your career, your business, or your job, or running teams of hundreds of people, and that stuff's getting really great outcomes, yet your relationship is a mess, well, there's a reason for that. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you why people with high IQs, great careers, and are very successful have very poor relationships and the reason why it happens. And then give you a couple of tips on how to sort of resolve that. So, let's get into it. High IQ people, very successful entrepreneurs, very successful corporate people who lead teams of people, who may lead teams of hundreds of people, and they've got great leadership abilities, and then they come home and their relationship's a mess. There is a reason for that. And it's because you've got business skills and you've got relationship skills. Most people learn business skills. They don't learn relationship skills because they are completely different. You can't take your business acumen, the way you run a business or a corporation or a team in that environment, and shift it to a relationship. It doesn't work. It never does work. And I'll give you the reason why. So when you're running a business or a corporation or whatever you want to do, you're using logic, you're using critical factors, you're using data, you're using analysis, you're having governance, you're using critical thinking, using all this stuff is prefrontal cortex. It's all, you've got a list of things to do every day to get to a certain outcome. If I knock off these things to an outcome, then I'll achieve my result. And it's all very much thinking based, which is great. And even if you've got teams of people there where you're leading groups and they're highly inspired and they're on the board and you go, I'm a great leader. Everyone at work respects me. At home, I don't get any, but at work, what's the difference? Why can't I get any respect at home when at work my whole team respect me? Because that's also hierarchy based, right? It doesn't work at home. You can't take hierarchy and then take it to home. So you can't take what's at work and then try and go, this works at home, because it doesn't. And the reason for that is you're using logic at work. At home, you need emotional awareness. You need a place where you're speaking to the limbic system, right? So the prefrontal cortex is where you hold all the logic, which does great at work, great decision making, great task orientated, great problem solving. It's fantastic for that part. But you can't use that when you're trying to connect with a person emotionally, because humans don't respond to logic. We never have, we never will. So if you understand human behavior, every single person on this planet makes a decision based on hormones, emotions, and feelings. Every decision you make. And if you're trying to logic your way or spreadsheet your way to influence your partner to connect with them through logic, you've lost. It's never going to work, right? Because they'll never get you, they'll never respond to it, and you'll keep doing things that I keep doing things wrong, even though I'm trying to problem solve stuff, right? One of the biggest things I get from people is that no matter what I do is wrong, I'm trying to fix it. And it's like, yeah, I understand that, but you're trying to fix it logically. Humans do not respond to logic. We justify with logic. We, as partners, we respond to hormones, feelings, and emotions, and that's based in the limbic system. And until you actually want to talk to that, you are losing the battle of trying to build a healthy relationship anywhere. Okay, so you're trying to take a golf club to a football game and expecting an outcome. It's the wrong tool set. And when people kind of get this idea, go, oh, okay, right, now I get it. I can understand why when I was speaking to my partner, she's not wanting to fix it, or he's not wanting to fix it, or a problem solve, or a Gantt chart, or some kind of 12-step program to get, if I do these steps, I'll get to this outcome. That's still very logically in it. And that's what I get sometimes is I advise people on this and go, this is how you sort of get here. And the first question they ask me is, Greg, what's the process? How do I get there? Show me how. Is there a step-by-step process guide you can give me? And it's like, no. You're still thinking about it. You're still in the logic here. And that's the easy thing to do, right? People do that. They'll go straight to the, well, how do I fix this? Or what's the logical way to try and undo what I've done? Or how do I get to communicate? Greg, can you give me a 5-step process to communicate effectively with my wife? It's like, no, you're still in your logic then. You're still going to screw it up because you're thinking about making a human connection by using a 5-step process. It doesn't work. It can't. It never will, right? So You have to understand communicating with the limbic system as a whole. It's like learning French if you're Chinese. And without some guidance, namely people like myself, teaching you how to do that, you are struggling. And you can watch as many YouTube videos as you want. You can sit there and do a self-paced course. You can do all that kind of stuff, but you're still thinking about it. You're still trying to learn logically about an emotional solution. You need someone to guide you through how to connect with the limbic system emotionally, feeling wise, and what hormones you're trying to release inside your partner that activate a connection, right? Namely, like oxytocin, right? If you want to make a connection with your partner, you need to have certain hormones released in a conversation to make that connection stick. And then if you want it to stick longer term, you need to have a hormone like vasopressin to be able to have that connection on a long-term basis, right? If you don't get that, and this is why you have most relationships these days and divorces ending in disasters, because nobody knows how humans connect. We are taught how to run a business. We are taught how to run risk and governance and issues and projects and all that kind of stuff. That's great. We go and learn that. But the most important part of a human's life is the connection with another human being. We don't even learn about it. We don't put any time and effort into it. We'll go and learn an MBA on how to run business, and then wonder why our relationships fall apart is because you haven't put any time and effort into learning how humans operate. It's counterintuitive to actually even get there. So if you're in this position right now and you're going, okay, I get it. I need to learn something different. Yes, you need to learn how to communicate with those parts of human being and understand a lot more about how humans operate. That's a bit of a conversation that, yes, if you want, link below, we can have a chat. But understand this. When you're coming home for night time and you're walking into that house and you're going, I really just hate coming home because it's a fight every single time. No matter what I do is right, it's an argument. I feel unappreciated. I feel rejected. The intimacy's gone. The communication's gone. Why am I even here? Okay, that's your point in time to go, something needs to change. I can't keep taking business logic and a spreadsheet. You can't logic your way out of this. As much as you want to, as much as you try to, you cannot logic your way out of an emotional situation. And the first part, what you need to be able to do is have presence. Presence to understand, what does my partner need in this situation? So one thing you can start to do right now is to look beneath what they're saying and understand, okay, my partner is saying these words. What does she need? And don't logically go there. This is a place where it requires you to step into an awareness place. It's a place where you step into emotional intelligence, right? The number one skill set that's going to come forward in the next 10 years is emotional awareness. If you don't have that, you're going to be left behind a long way. So to sit there and step back from the argument, step back from the conflict, and to see what they're saying and go, well, actually, let me take my ego out of this. What is my partner saying? And what is my partner really needing in this space? And it may be to be seen, maybe to heard, maybe valued. It may be something like, okay, you may have forgotten the milk one night, and it may be you're fighting about the milk. But the reality is that you've forgotten the milk 3 or 4 times. And she feels like she's not heard or not seen because you're always working and you're always on the clock and you're not present and you miss talking to her anymore, or him. Okay. And the real thing is not the milk, is the fact that there's a need there for connection and they feel like they're not being connected. And maybe even on your side, it's like, I'm working very, very hard. I don't feel appreciated. I don't feel like you thank me anymore, right? Because you're fighting about the milk, but you're not really fighting about the milk. You're fighting about these deep-seated feelings and emotions that you are lacking now. And so if you can go beyond what's being said, you can start to unravel about what people are needing, and then you have a conversation about what the real issue is. But that takes a skill set. It's like I said before, it's a language that you need to learn. You can't sort of just learn this off watching a few YouTube videos like this. You do need to go to a new language class. You need to learn French if you're Chinese. You need to be able to have someone guide you through this. Otherwise, this will cost you time and effort. And then by the time that happens, you'll be divorced, right? So if this makes sense, if you're a person that's got a very, very high IQ and has a very successful career, but your relationship is a mess, this is your moment in time to realize everything you've been doing has been wrong. And it's not because you are wrong, it's because you just didn't know. Most of the people I speak to don't have any idea about it's a whole different language method. It's like I need to speak to the limbic system of the brain, because without that, I'm not talking to anything. And this is how arguments happen, is you're trying to out-logic people, and you can't out-logic emotions. It doesn't work. You need to be able to have that skill set to go there. And once you learn the skill set, it opens up a world that you've never ever known before. It's a skill set that puts you in a very rare field, not only in your relationship, but at work as well too. So if you're in this place, and if it resonates with you, click on the link below, book a call. We can have a chat about where we can take you and fix this relationship. But it's not making you this weak emotional person. We're using your logic. We're using the skill set you got at work, and we're enhancing you, right? We're giving you an additional skill set on top of what you've already got. So we're not taking away your IQ. We're enhancing what you've got and then expanding into something greater and further to give you a skill set on both sides that makes you pretty much a category of one. So there's the invitation. If your relationship's not working right now and you're high IQ and you're highly successful, there's a reason for it. It's rather simple. You're using a golf club for a football game, using the wrong skill set, using business logic for an emotional game. It doesn't work. It will fail 100% of the time, and you'll see it. You should be watching this and you should go, yeah, that makes sense. And we can teach you. And it's relatively simple. It's relatively straightforward. You can turn it around very, very quickly and immediately get some runs on the board and stop what's happening in this dysfunction. Because in the end, if you go down the path of divorce, it's going to cost you time, money, lifestyle, and a lot of future. So if you're interested, link below, click on it, reach out for a call. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.